try to score 350 or above in JAMB because you are not going to score it? Now you'll be wondering, why did I speak like this? Because I have observed over time that the goal, whereas it is good, but it doesn't translate to you entering into the reality of it. So instead of focusing on your goal, there is the right thing I have observed which has worked for me, has worked on the student I have coached, and has worked on several other university students that I have counseled to get good grades in their academics. And one of these days, I will create a video where I will show you the results of the previous year's JAMB students which I have coached, which were under my training, how they score, many of them having 300 and above, showing them this principle. So if you stick to me till the end of this video, I'm going to reveal to you the right thing to do. Rather than saying, hey, I want to score 250, I want to score that. That is not the right way to go at all if you would really like to have a high score in your JAMB. All right, let's go right into it. Who am I in the first place? By the grace of God, I am a first class graduate from a university, and I just concluded my master's degree, of course, which is second degree recently, that last week. So I have an experience, years of experience in coaching children, both in the lower class to the university level. I have observed how things worked as far as learning is concerned. I have observed how students' performance are affected. I have observed how or principles that helps one ace his performance in academics or any other exams. By the grace of God, I used to tell people that I'm no longer afraid of any kind of exam. More like I'm used to writing exams, so it doesn't get me scared. I don't used to have all this kind of anxiety because I'm writing it. No. So because of this wealth of experience, observation, and experiments that I have made over the time, I have observed that whereas setting goal is very important, it does not translate to the reality of it, like I said. So what's now the right way to go? I have even tried to interact with some of the students that score high in JAMB. I knew also what happened to me because when I wrote JAMB equivalent, I had 338 marks. And it was this principle, even though it was not very clear to me, but that was the same principle I applied. So if you stick to the end, I'm going to explain to you step by step that you would take to get those kind of marks without you putting your mind to the mark itself. To the mark itself. It's just like someone saying, I want to travel to America without putting step by step process that he needs to try to go to America. Just walking arbitrarily, saying, maybe I will go and do this. Next time I'll apply for passport. No, it doesn't work like that way. So, and I have observed over time that there were this, I decided to say, oh, let me study the wealthy people. What are they doing different? And I come across books, I come across videos online and in different places, on different platforms, on what actually make the rich people unique from every other person. And guess what? The same principle that is working for me academically and that I have asked some to implement and that worked for them is what I saw there. So this principle is more like all-round principle that works in everything. And what is this principle? Instead of focusing on the goal, instead of just setting a goal, instead of just saying I want to be there, rather set the step by step approach that will take you to that place, even ignoring where you are going to sometimes. So what's this principle? I said one of these days I would create a video where I would show you the scores of some of my students, the last JAMB, just the last JAMB, many of them with 300 and above. And I share the same principle, and many of them implemented it and they got it. So if you are a prospective JAMB candidate in the next 2026 JAMB, you need to get the right thing to do now. Now, let me give you an illustration. Assuming you are to participate in rice cooking competition, or let me say cooking competition generally, but this time around, let's talk about rice. You have to prepare jollof rice. What's the first thing you should do? Should you just wait till the day for competition? No. The first secret is to try to know what is the criteria of the judges. Please write this down if you are listening to me, because this principle I'm going to share to you is the secret that works in everything. So, first of all, observe what is the judgment criteria. If you are able to get that, you have gotten the upper hand over your colleagues. So, the first thing, applying this to JAMB now, try to go through the syllabus. Many students just study linearly, arbitrarily, as in just anyhow. I'm preparing for JAMB, I'm reading every day. No, that's not the right approach. Do you know that JAMB does not ask questions in some of the syllabus they provide, or they would ask a few in some areas, but they give emphasis to asking questions in some areas. Do you know that some of the topics that seems harder, that seems tougher, most times that's where JAMB asks questions. I observed in this last year JAMB, they ask questions more on calculations for science students. And I was just smiling because I've told my students already what to expect, and they saw it. And I'm happy many of them were able to answer those questions and they came up with good grades. So what am I saying? I'm saying that the first step is to know the criteria of judgment. Know the heavy topics, the heavyweight topics, where JAMB would ask 5 questions. For example, in organic chemistry, do you know that in that topic alone, JAMB can ask as many as 5-6 questions? I've observed it over the time and I've seen it. So if I were you, I would ensure that I focus on these heavyweight topics and make sure that I have grasped them, I've understood them very, very well. This is where it comes to the criteria of the judges. Let's go to the second one. The second one is how to even allocate your time for reading. It's just like I said earlier. Now, assuming the criteria for the judges to judge how good you are in cooking is the taste of the end product rather than how the rice looks. Excuse me, would you spend 30 minutes trying to slice your onion, giving it a special shape that will make your rice look colorful? No! This is the mistake many students make. They waste time doing unnecessary things, doing lightweight matters, doing things that doesn't really matter much. And at the end, they will feel like they are well prepared, whereas they have not done the real thing. So what this principle is all about, it is about, instead of you walking from here to 350 marks, rather walk from 350 marks down to this position. And this is what we call reverse engineering. This reverse engineering principle, it is not you about saying 350, I'm seeing 350, I'm going to 350, I'm going to 350. No, it's from the very mark. You now see how it is happening. Instead of you to now say, oh, let me cook, let me put this, let me add this so that I can get the best. No, you now start from the best. What is this very best? What is this very best? Do you now see it? So from that very best, you will now be reading down. That's why it is called reverse engineering. I have applied this, it worked for me, and it works for many people. So the first step in reverse engineering is for you to know what the best is all about. What is this best all about? What's the judging criteria to the best, to get the best? So if you know this, the second one is to now know how to allocate your time. This is very important, like I said. You don't waste time cutting onion, giving them shape, when what matters is the taste. So you need to identify what are these areas, what are these key areas in the syllable where JAMB asks most questions. I have observed and I have told my students last year that, last year/this year, those that wrote for this year, that JAMB repeats questions. And I was able to draw for them practically over the years how JAMB repeats questions in organic chemistry, in inorganic chemistry, and there's several other topics. And they were shocked to have seen that I was able to bring out many questions that repeated themselves over the years. So what am I trying to say in essence? If you are able to analyze the syllabus very well and come up with areas where you know that these are the areas that are hotspots for JAMB, you have an edge over others because you will now spend time in those areas than what does not matter. That's the second thing. What's the third thing? The third thing is to create an exam simulation, which I do with my students. Let me even say it at this point in time. Last year, I had a group of students that we were working together, not just on YouTube here, but we were having a WhatsApp group. And what I try to do is to create a kind of exam simulation for them. We were doing mental drills. What's mental drills all about? I was trying to give them that kind of exam condition so that they will be used to it before the exams. This was one of the secrets that make those guys hit JAMB very well. And I will drop a WhatsApp link here under this video. If you would like to join my class as early as possible, you can do that through the link. So I make sure that we do mental drills. We even hold meetings, education sharing sessions, knowledge sharing sessions, where I educate them. You know, nowadays everybody medicine, nursing, but there are emerging fields that are very lucrative in the nearest future. Before you graduate, those fields would have become the best paying fields. So I have tried to open some of their eyes to see, and some of them have picked them, and I know one day they will come to thank me. So I create knowledge sharing sessions. I create we do mental drills. Even I reward those that come up best. So this is what I have been doing over the time. And this year my goal is to have more and more candidates that will come up with 300 marks and above. So the third thing is to create a simulation, to create a JAMB exam simulation, to create that condition where you feel as if, oh, I'm writing JAMB already, when you are not there. And doing this, you create it, consistently. Get used to it. So before the exam comes, you will not even be afraid. You know all the anxiety as people are sweating, and you are just calm as if you are not going to undergo something serious. That's it. So this secret has worked for me in the past. It has worked for many other people that I have trained, and I've observed that it is really a working principle. So if you have written the 3 points, write them well and start working on them. Meanwhile, if you want to join my training, if you want to join my group, the group I'm coaching, use the WhatsApp link below. But if you know you are not going to be serious, please leave it alone, because I work with serious students. Last year I just have to have some persons excuse us. I have to remove them from the group. But if you are serious and you are willing and ready to implement simple instructions, no problem, you are welcome. I'll be glad to hear that you are among those that score high marks. Thank you very much for taking your time to listen to this. Please, if you have any special need as far as JAMB is concerned, just drop it in a comment. If there is anything that is not clear, I've mentioned 3 key things now. Please, I hope you got this very well. I hope you got it. The judges' criteria, the time allocation, and what's the third one? Let me see if you are following me. Do you remember the third one? Drop it on the comment section. Let me be sure that you have followed me till this point in this video. Thank you so much. We meet next time. Check the link below, the WhatsApp link, if you feel you can meet with the conditions I have stated of joining our group, and then join. If the link is not working, kindly drop a comment. I will send you another link, because once the group is full, or once I cannot accommodate, because I don't also want the group to have too many people. So once the first group is up to a certain number of people, I would create another group. Thank you very much once again for joining. God bless you.